Welcome back. My name is Steve032, the current drummer in my basement. A few weeks ago, I did a video about the punk rock tribute to Motorhead where I cover the Pennywise version of Ace of Spades. If you haven't seen that one, you can check it out right here. At the end of that video, I said I do a proper Pennywise video, so this is that video. Pennywise are a punk rock band from Hermosa Beach, California, formed in 1988. The band's name comes from the evil clown in Stephen King's It, one of the most terrifying characters in horror. But when Pennywise goes to sleep, he has nightmares about Fletcher. Now, when we got into SoCal punk in the mid-90s, at first we owned 2 CDs between the 4 of us. NoFX, White Trash, 2 Heaps and a Bean, and Pennywise's Pennywise. And I guess we never took the time to notice in the album photo the 6'6", 300-pound, absolutely menacing guitar player. So in 2000, we're recording Sum 41's debut album, All Killer No Filler, and our label told us that we would be doing the entire Warped Tour in 2001, which was awesome because we started the band after going to the Warped Tour in 1996. And our producer, the late, great Jerry Finn, who loved to tell stories, loved telling us Fletcher stories, like how he would electrocute the guys from Blink-182 with a car battery, or the time he stole Unwritten Law's van and deliberately crashed it with them inside, or like the time he brought a grenade into the K-Rock studio and threatened to pull the pin. Like any good legend, it's always hard to distinguish myth from truth, but either way, we were scared shitless. By the time we started Warped Tour, Fat Lip was blowing up on MTV, and we felt like we had a giant target on our backs. We didn't know any of these established punk bands on a personal level, so our entire strategy was just be cool and at all costs avoid Fletcher. But very early on, we realized something. A lot of the bands we grew up listening to were actually super cool. Fat Mike came onto our bus and introduced himself. I remembered the rule, just be cool. And then I immediately dumped a beer into his lap. I've never been great at the cool part. Then we met the Vandals, super cool, and we met Pennywise, also super cool. And by Pennywise, I mean specifically Jim, Randy, and Byron. We were still avoiding Fletcher at all costs. We would always be on the lookout. If he was at catering, we weren't eating that day. With one hitch, whenever Pennywise plays Bro Hymn, you are required to go on stage and sing along. And of course we did. We're huge fans. We just always made sure we were on the opposite side of the stage from Fletcher. Then one day, I'm watching Blink-182 alone from the side stage, and suddenly I feel a presence behind me. And I'm like, oh my God, it's him. There's a big security guard standing right in front of me, long blonde ponytail down his back. And then these massive hands reach around me holding a pair of scissors. They grab the security guard's ponytail, pull it, and snip it off. And before I can react, these huge fingers shove the ponytail into my mouth. Now the security guard reaches behind his head, realizing that his pride and joy ponytail has just been removed. He spins around in an absolute rage and sees me standing there with his ponytail sticking out of my mouth. We both turn around, and that's when I see Fletcher standing there with a pair of scissors, laughing his ass off. I'm like, that was pretty good. I mean, in hindsight, I feel like I got off easy. Now, that was also the tour where Fletcher was walking around with an airsoft gun, like a machine gun airsoft gun, and he'd stalk around backstage just looking for people to shoot at random. Anyone. No one was safe. Fat Mike came up to me one day and said, you know, Fletcher, he'd never shoot me with that thing. He just wouldn't do it. And then about an hour later, he shot Fat Mike. Now, Fletcher actually had this thing he called a cleansing. If you willfully let him unload an entire magazine of that airsoft rifle into your back, he would never mess with you again. Now, Fat Mike did not volunteer for a cleansing. He just got chosen. So, Fatty figures, all right, I'll get him back. Now, at the time, Fletcher was drinking these Zima drinks on stage. So Fat Mike gets his hands on the hottest habanero sauce that he can find, and with a Q-tip, he applies it to the rim of every bottle of Zima that Fletcher has lined up on his guitar cap. About halfway through the set, Fletcher takes a swig and his face just begins to melt. I mean, remember, this is the Warped Tour. It's the middle of the summer. We're in a parking lot. There's sweat everywhere. I mean, he's dying. And we're on the side of the stage laughing our asses off. And Fat Mike is watching with a satisfied little smile. Tit for tat. Well, not quite. The next day, Fletcher shot him with the gun again. I mean, it sounds horrifying. Like, how how can people even work under these conditions? But here's the thing. Once you get to know him, you realize that this is performance art. He's a comedian. This is just his sense of humor, and you're the butt of the joke. But it's funny when you're not the butt of the joke. And honestly, he's a rock solid dude. He's smart. He's funny. He's an astute businessman. It's just that if his business wasn't punk rock, it would most likely be organized crime. And I also want to say this. So many Pennywise stories are dominated by Fletcher in his antics, but Jim, Randy, and Byron are rad. They're great guys. I love them. Byron has been Byron Sound for almost as long as Dave has been Brown Sound. Some of the most fun nights I've ever had have been with those guys. And from a drumming standpoint, I never get bored of watching Byron play. The whole band delivers every time. I actually met my wife backstage at a Pennywise concert. She was an audio engineer on their album Straight Ahead, and one of her oldest friends in the US, Fletcher. Anyway, I'm going to play a Pennywise song. This is the opening track of their debut album, Pennywise. The song is Wouldn't It Be Nice? All right, that is going to do it for this video. I want to thank you all so much for watching. My name is Steve-O32. Ika, folks. I'm out.